Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, I will be discussing some of Toronto's hottest drill artists that have been caught in some of the most chaotic moments, which were caught on camera. None of the situations discussed in this video will be impeding on past, pending, or current cases, and all the information provided is available to the public. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode.
The mayor of Ajax denouncing this brazen act of gun violence. Police are investigating the daytime shooting that left 2 people fighting for their lives.
On April 28, 2021, officers were called to Harwood Avenue South and Kingston Road West around 4:20 p.m. due to reports of more than 40 shots being fired. When officers arrived, they found a 24-year-old woman and a 26-year-old man, both of which were seriously injured and taken to a trauma center.
In the intersection, which was evident that there was an exchange of gunfire between 2 vehicles that we are aware of at this time.
A third vehicle was also struck by the bullets. Durham Regional Police say more than 40 shots were fired. A man and woman, both believed to be in their 20s, were injured while inside a vehicle.
Well, I watched him running around with blood running down his back and his side and his head. So I'm like, you need to stop running, because if you keep running, you're gonna bleed out. And then I'm like, you know what, just get in my car, I'll take you to the hospital, because the hospital's right there. He sat in the car for 2 seconds and then came out. But when he came out, the ambulance and the police was already there.
The witness says he saw the female victim as well.
She was responsive because she was running around also to try to tell him to slow down. She's pregnant.
Although the female victim was pregnant, both the woman and unborn baby recovered, along with the male victim. Officers originally thought this was a case of mistaken identity. However, upon further investigation of the male victim, police began to piece together a whole new case. Durham Regional Police were informed by officers across the province and Thunder Bay that the male victim was a suspect in a drug trafficking case from 2020. This suspect was 26-year-old Rashawn Samuels, aka Dizzle. Dream Rich Dizzle is a popular Toronto drill artist from the Northside Don Mills area of Toronto, specifically Allenbury Gardens Community Housing, aka ABG. He is well connected throughout the Toronto drill scene and has had many notable beefs with rappers within the scene, such as Sick People, who represents Parma Court. After the assassination attempt on Dizzle and his pregnant girlfriend, Sick People would release a brutal diss track towards him, and even going further by dissing his girlfriend for shooting back with a fake gun, which would be confirmed by Durham Regional Police.
Shot in his face though. Dizzle was there, but he didn't blow. I'm a squad pack with your baby mom. Switch on glaze, cars get bread though, do it get pitch. Talking sick, on the neck, got you hit. Just like Gigi, almost died with your bitch.
Shortly after the shooting, both Dizzle and his girlfriend were sent to the trauma center, and while there, Durham Regional Police were informed of Dizzle's involvement in a drug trafficking case in Thunder Bay back in 2020. Dizzle was wanted, and officers began setting up his arrest. While attempting to arrest Dizzle, he fled on foot out of the hospital and into a residential dwelling. One officer saw him run inside the home, and while attempting to arrest him, Dizzle began throwing punches at the officer. He was eventually subdued and charged with numerous offenses. His pregnant girlfriend was also charged, but released immediately after. Sources say Dizzle was in custody for no more than 2 years prior to his release. Dizzle has kept a low profile since, although being targeted in numerous diss tracks since the shooting.
The brazen Friday night shooting at this Jane and Woolsner parking lot in West Toronto has turned deadly. Police confirm 20-year-old Mohammed So died of his injuries in hospital Saturday night. 4 others were injured.
Yeah, they show me love, but I know that shit be fake, cause when you making money, most niggas gon' hate. Mama says.
Originally of Guinean background, Mohammed So, aka King Mo, was born in New York in 1999. His family emigrated to Canada in 2000, first settling in Montreal and then Toronto in 2006, where they became active in the city's Guinean community, located in Jane Street and St. Clair Avenue West. Within his hood, he was referred to as a block boy, which was someone who lived on the block, but was never into any trouble and was respected by all. He took care of kids he barely knew and gave them money to buy freezies, one friend recalled. "Mo made sure I was going to school. He wanted what was best for me," said another friend who grew up with Muhammad. Tragically, on July 10th, King Mo was shot along with 5 other people outside of his building on Jane and Wilner.
Surveillance footage shows several people gathered in a plaza parking lot at Jane and Wilner last night and then suddenly ducked for cover. That's when police say gunmen opened fire in a drive-by shooting.
The shots, like about maybe 4 to 5 shots, it was like pop, 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 pop like that.
It happened around 10:15 p.m. Police say 5 people were shot. Witnesses say they saw the suspect speeding away in a dark-colored vehicle.
Right after the gunshots, a car came speeding out of the parking lot.
It was speeding away.
Responding officers found 3 victims suffering from gunshot wounds at the scene. They say 2 other victims took themselves to hospital.
The reason that this is so concerning is it's a brazen shooting. We've had more than a dozen rounds recovered at this time.
A 21-year-old man remains in hospital in critical condition. The other 4 victims range in age from 17 to 57 and are expected to survive. The parking lot is next to a park and is a popular spot where people who live in the neighborhood gather at night during the summer.
At the time of his death, Muhammad was being bullied by some older students who tried to frame him for stealing a shirt at a Walmart by putting it into his backpack, so it's freezing. Muhammad took the blame to avoid angering the bullies. Security footage showed he didn't steal the shirt, but he ended up having to report to police and attend a few days of counseling as a result. The investigation into the shooting went on for more than a month until police announced an arrest. On August 15, 2021, Toronto police announced a 20-year-old man was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in the death of King Mo. This man was Malique Francis-Taylor, aka MK, So Alive. MK is a drill artist reigning from the Pelham Park area located in the West End of Toronto. He is most notable for his songs with fellow Pelham Park artist Smiley, who is signed under Drake's OVO Sound label. A product of the streets of Toronto, MK turns danger into art. He began releasing music in 2016 with his street classic Ain't Ridin', and built a buzz around his originality, backed with street credibility and the ability to bring his first-person experiences to life in his music. Toronto police say MKK was one of 2 individuals in a vehicle that were indiscriminately shooting at individuals who were enjoying an evening outside of a Jane and Woolner community housing building, ultimately injuring 5 and killing King Mo. A month later, Toronto police were able to identify and locate MK with ease, and subsequently charge him with first-degree murder. He is still awaiting trial.
And a number of witnesses who came here to the memorial today tell me they thought they heard what sounded like fireworks on Saturday night. They later realized it was likely the sound of a semi-automatic weapon. Police say they are now looking for any and all surveillance video, although it's believed that all 4 suspects were wearing masks and therefore had their faces concealed. Just across from a playground, people spent the day untangling helium balloons that spell out the name Thane. The balloons were left here on Oak Street in memory of 27-year-old Thane Murray, a City of Toronto employee who worked at the Regent Park Community Centre, killed in a brazen triple shooting just before 9 Saturday night.
He is a good boy. He works at the Community Centre, Dixon Hall, K Club. He's a role model for this neighborhood. And now look where we have him on the sidewalk, dead.
27-year-old Thane Murray was shot and killed in the area of Sumac and Oak Streets just before 9 p.m. on September 18th. Another 27-year-old man sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries and was released from hospital. A 29-year-old was also rushed to hospital in life-threatening condition. He eventually made a full recovery. Thane Murray used to be a familiar sight in Regent Park, trekking through the streets with 6 or 7 kids in tow. In the evenings after a local after-school program wrapped, the young man would set off with the kids he worked with that day, delivering them one by one home to the safety of their families. Thane's death comes 1 month after Jane and Finch mentor Sam Boakye, 30, was shot dead earlier this month. Jane and Finch and Regent Park have been involved in a deadly gang dispute for years. However, police say these deaths are unrelated to that matter. As for the suspects, investigators believe most, if not all, of 4 suspects were armed and discharging their weapons at once. One investigator said it looks like they showed up in this area looking for anyone that might be in the area, as disturbing as that sounds. A police spokesperson confirmed more than 50 shell casings were found at the scene. After several months of investigation, Toronto police confirmed the arrest of one suspect in the death of Thane. His name is Junior Jamal Harvey, aka J Money.
Known as the Menace Gang. There were shootings that happened basically right where we're looking now.
D-Mark got the heat.
In this infrared security video, the assailant in flight saunters over to an unsuspecting man, puts a gun to his head, and pulls the trigger.
You know how I rock, get shot, get shot. You know how I rock, get shot. You know how I rock.
He is under the Menace Gang label, along with Casper TNG, K Money, and Rolex Homie. He first rose to prominence with this debut single, Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda, in 2018. Soon after the release, J Money would be arrested on suspicion of aiming a firearm at several people in Regent Park before shooting one man in the leg and running off. He would be released shortly after due to lack of evidence, as he was masked up and wearing gloves. However, J Money's legal trouble would not stop there. On September 18th, 1 month after an Alexandra Park community member was shot along with another man, J Money, along with 3 other individuals, including fellow artist Mr. Wallahi, would take a drive to Regent Park with an assault rifle and several other guns, and fire up to 50 shots at innocent people, ultimately killing Thane Murray and injuring 2 others.
Today, your world gets smaller. You've already been looking over your shoulder since you decided to evade arrest. With the major rewards announced today, the loyalty of any friends and associates assisting you in evading arrest will be tested.
The list was compiled by the BOLO program, a police support initiative encouraging Canadians to be on the lookout for our country's most wanted. Today, the program outlined 25 suspects accused of various serious crimes. Nearly half of them are connected to the GTA, with the rewards being offered for some of their arrests.
As fugitives get arrested, because they will get arrested, the top 25 will be updated, reshuffled, replenished with new suspects.
3 months after the shooting, Toronto police were able to identify J Money and another individual as 2 of the 4 suspects in the shooting. It would take more than a year for Toronto police to provide another update on the case, but when they did, they added a hefty prize. On July 22, 2022, Toronto police announced, in a heavily televised event, that $50,000 would be rewarded to anyone with information on Jabriel Elmi, aka Mr. Wallahi. His face would be subsequently plastered all over the city and online, resulting in a hilarious internet frenzy, as many people would create memes about his crossed eyes.
Why would I look mad? Do I look mad to you? You're mad. Your eyes are like this. You're like, yo, watch when I see niggas. Like, nigga, you can't even see niggas. Your eyes are cross-eyed. You're a cross-eyed freak. Miskin.
As of the making of this video, there have been no further updates on Mr. Wallahi's whereabouts. He is still on the run. So guys, that's for today's video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to your channel and press the bell icon for never miss our any updates. Thanks for watching.